What's up, guys? I'm J-Dubb, and today I'm going to teach you how to take your Midland MXR10 or your Retevis, the RT97S, and I'm going to show you how to make it solar powered, how to make it weatherproof, and how to make it to where you can give coverage to a farm, a piece of land you have, a hunting camp, your local community, anywhere you would want, cheap and effectively. Now, cheap is a relative term. I need you to pay attention to that. This setup is going to cost you a little bit. Most of the money is in the solar components. The repeater itself right now, I believe, is $250. Here's an extra one I've got right here. We've got it set up just in case any of them ever actually fail. We've got an extra one we can throw in there. You know, they're cheap right now. You can pick them up. They work really well. But now, guys, remember, I am not an electrician. I'm just a guy that has a basic understanding of electronics. You know, I need you to do your own research when you're doing this. You know, look at your wire size, look at your fuse sizes, look at your wattages, look at what all you need to do. If you don't know, consult an electrician, maybe get a friend to help you out. But guys, this is more of showing you how I did it, not in an actual tutorial of how to do this. You know, so just take that in mind. I'm not an electrician, just some guy with a screwdriver and some power tools. So let's take a look in this box and I'll show it to you. All right, guys, so here is the box. As you can see, it's a pretty good sized box. This thing is not small. We're looking at about, what is that? Almost 16 inches by almost 24 inches. So this is a good sized box. But this thing you can strap to a tree. If you had a pole, a telephone pole, somewhere that you could hook it to. I would not hook this to your service provider's telephone pole. It's a good way to get in trouble. I do see people do stuff like that. I would not suggest doing that myself. People are going to make this sound more complicated than it actually is. It's not. It's not difficult. You're going to hear things if you actually research this. They're going to say you're getting noise from the solar panels. You're going to have all these issues. I haven't seen any of those issues yet. But you have to use good quality parts, and that's what I've done with this. I have used really good quality parts that have really good low failure rates. You could do this with other items, but this is what I've got, and this is what I found out works. All right, guys, so first off, we're going to show you that this thing does work. Here is a microphone. You'll be able to hear it. Have everything coming through the repeater. So we have test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3 1 2 3. Testing. You can hear us coming through the microphone. The repeater is working. This works fine. Now you can see this thing does work. It works fine. Who would have thought? Right here, we have our power at this bottom corner coming into the system, coming up here to a switch. I'm gonna try to show this to you best way we can. There we go. You can see we have a switch right here. If you follow the wires down, they come up into this blue box. This blue box is our solar controller. This is a max of 75 volts, and it max puts out 15 amps. From there, the power comes down, goes into our fuse box. From our fuse box, it comes into the terminal of the battery over here. You follow the top one, it goes through our shunt and into the top terminal of the battery over there. Once again, pretty simple. Now, the exciting part, you have your fuse block here. From the fuse block, it feeds everything. So you have your wires coming up into this box, which right there is showing so that is powering our Retevis repeater, as well as that is powering the little unit that gives us our beacon. Follow that over through, you're going to the repeater. You have the repeater right here. You can see we have a piece of LMR 240 coming out, and then it comes out to a lightning protector, and then over into our dummy load. Now, guys, I know that is that's not the best look at it, and I know there's no real easy way to show y'all this. It's kind of a difficult thing to show you, but I do need to take it apart, and I do need to put some stuff in the back of it. Now, there's some other components in here I didn't show you, like this little red light down here. You can see that's actually our controller for our fan. There's our beacon. So if I come up here and heat it up, we have a little fan that cuts on, and yeah, it works out really well. Come over here, we just took a piece of bent sheet metal so no rain can get directly into it, and it's got a piece of screen so no bugs can get back into it. Down here are all of our intakes. The hole underneath of this battery has these little screens in it. Like I said, I know it is hard to see. There you can kind of see it. There's a screen. They run the whole length of the battery, and this whole thing, the whole battery sits on this wood, which gives you airflow. Like I said, I do need to tear it apart because I've got to put some wood on the back of it. The wood is what I use to hook it to the tree so that I can run a strap behind it. Right now it's just a flat on the back. This one has been running at my house for a while. And a big reason we're running them at the house is I wanted to make sure nothing was going to fail. I wanted to make sure the product was going to work. The batteries were going to charge like they said they were. You know, everything was going to work. Plus, I was seeing how much solar panel I need. Now, if you've got it in direct sunlight, 50 watt panel, that works fine. You will never kill this thing fast enough that a 50 watt panel can't recharge it if you have full sunlight most of the time. If you want to be safe, a 100 watt panel. And if you have the space, throw a 200 watt panel up with this 100 amp hour self-heating battery, and you will never have any issue with this thing. This thing will run indefinitely. Even on a cloudy day with 200 watts of panels, you're still going to be getting around 45 to 50 watts into the battery. That's plenty to keep this thing going. So let's go ahead. I'm going to set the camera up. We're going to lay this thing on its back, and we're going to start taking some stuff out of it. And I'm going to kind of let y'all watch me disassemble it. Alright guys, so it turns out I'm not going to be taking everything out of here because I don't need to get to everything. I literally just need to get to this hole down here, that one, and this one. But we'll still be able to kind of go through it. I can still take a good bit of stuff out of here because I've got some of the things out of here that were taken out. Like, I don't need the microphone. That was for a test one pretty much. And I don't need this part either. And the reason I don't need this part, one, it's a super cool little piece if you haven't played with it. This thing is, the guys at Repeater ID make it. It allows you to hook up different microphones. You can even use, they sent me this one to play with it with. This is the actual, I guess the Redivus or Alliance microphone. It works for that. But also works great with just a K-style mic. So any K-style mic you get works great. These work really good. Like I did a video on this showing this versus my Motorola one that looks just like it. They look the exact same. They work the same. Save your money. And I just kind of Velcroed these things in here, and you can see Velcro held up really well. They do come with little tabs. You could super glue those on. You could screw it in, but I didn't want to screw it in because of the piece here. I'd have a sheet metal screw hanging out. This is the serial number of the one they sent me, so I'll Velcro it back up in here once I get some more Velcro. And actually, I think I have some right here. Yeah, there we go. There's a piece. Now we need the pointy side. So I'm going to cut a piece real fast. There we go. Put that there. Make it to where I can still see my serial number in case I ever need to get a hold of them for whatever reason. I doubt I ever will because these little units have run really well here lately. No problems at all. So now I've got my repeater ID sitting over here. We've got everything else in here, but I need to take the battery out to get to everything. Like I said, you have a pretty good view of everything from right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a tool. We're gonna take this out. I actually got one right here. I got a big adjustable wrench. When you're tightening these batteries down, don't tighten them down a lot. If I could get that on there. We'll just use the size of wrench that it actually calls for. 7/16. You don't really need the all thread even when you do this. The only reason I put the all thread in here is in case a bear were to mess with this box, it would keep everything, you know, hooked down so it's not going anywhere. That's just a piece of scrap aluminum I literally found in my yard. You can see it. Now, where did that adjustable wrench go? Let's see, can we break you free? Little stubby screwdriver. I'm going to try to stay out of y'all's frame. That one's too tight. I do actually have this that needs to go in there. This is just a fuse. That'll actually go, it'll look like this when we're done, when we put it all back together. I forgot to add that last time, but it's okay because we're putting it in now. But would recommend fusing everything. It's never a bad thing to have too many fuses. Get out of there. I've never taken this battery out like this, but we'll figure it out. Look at there. One battery out and done. You can see our all thread is just, bolted down. Can y'all see that? There you go. You can kind of see it's just got bolts running through it, holding everything there. The wood is here. You can see our vents, maybe. See our vent goes all the way across. This allows for a bunch of airflow into the box, and it's been working out really well. If you still needed more airflow, you could come over here and drill a big hole. Up here, I did a 3-inch hole, put a screen over it. That would give you even more airflow in. But your airflow is going to come up, over, across, and out. Real simple. Now, you can kind of see, here's our switch. So we have our power coming in, comes through our breaker, into our solar controller, out of our solar controller, into the fuse box, into the positive lead. We have out of our negative side of the solar controller, it comes up, into our fuse box, through our shunt, and into the negative side of our battery. That's how this is controlled. This is a shunt. The reason we have a shunt in here is because, one, this will keep track of some data for me. It'll keep track of the levels of my battery for me. I wanted this in here for more or less my curiosity, just to see how this thing was going to work over a period of time. Do you need this? No, you don't. You could literally come straight off of here, straight into the negative lead with the battery, and it worked just as fine. And that's going to save you about $100 because that's an expensive little shunt. But it does work good. You can see we have all of our, so our shunt is powered here. We have our adapter, once again made by the guys at Repeater ID. This just gives you the USB port. Instead of me having to wire in another USB port like I did on my other unit, this just comes straight off. So we come up into here, into our box, there you go. This is nothing more than a ground. Just an extra ground just in case we were to need it. All the grounds come down to this part right here and come out to the common ground out of the box. What else do we got here? So we have this wire here. Yeah, this wire right here should be black technically, but I doesn't have any more black. I had red. So keep track of that. Run this down. This is powering our fan. This is our fan controller. These things are dirt cheap, and I was testing this one out because the one I normally use is from Cool Guys, and I've had great luck with it. Except when it gets down to around 0. For whatever reason, it gets to 0 and it fails and says it's 275 degrees or 200. I think it's 254 degrees. And it fails, and then it makes your fan run wide open until the temperature comes back up. Well, if it's really cold outside, you don't really need the fan on. So this one hasn't done that. We had temperatures down to -4 this year. Nothing. This worked fine. It went all the way down, worked out great, never tripped the fan on weird. So far, we've had temperatures up in the upper 80s this year, and once again, no issues. Here is your, if you look up here, there you go. I don't know if you can see it. That's my temperature probe for the fan. I put it at the top of the box, and I like these little stick-on things. I don't know if y'all can see these. Look at these. They're just little 3M stickers, and they just stick right on there. And they have held up really good. If you're going to put these on, though, take you some alcohol and wipe it down before you stick them, because if you don't, they will fall off. This is just a simple 80mm fan. Creates enough draft for everything to work. This LMR 240 has a bulkhead connector. I originally did this one without a bulkhead connector, and I had a through fitting. For whatever reason, that through fitting caused a lot of loss. I would go on this side of it, I would have right at 5 watts of power, and on the other side of it, I'd have around 2 watts of power. So something was wrong with that fitting, so I switched it out to just a straight through bulkhead fitting, and now we have, I think, what is it, 5 on this side and 5 on this side. So that's been working out really well. Once again, if you wanted even less loss, you could run this straight in, hook it straight into the duplexer. That's always an option. That would actually work really good. If I need to, I might do it one day. I don't think it's going to be enough of a problem to worry about it. But you can see there's a lot going on in this box, but it's not difficult. I did bolt this to the metal here. This whole part would come out if I didn't have the fan hooked up. To get it all out though, I have to undo all these bolts or come down here and unwire the fan. I'm not doing that. I don't need to do that. So we will not be doing that. Sorry if that's what you came here for. But this does, I opened the box up, drilled a hole through the back of it, stuck it in there. Is there another way you could do it? Yeah, you could run a strap. You know, screw a strap into it and run a strap around and a strap around. That would accomplish the same thing without drilling a hole. I just liked the hole. It was a cleaner. These things are out of warranty anyway. I'm not worried about water getting in here. The box has been outside in the weather now for, gosh, I think this one's been outside since November. So what we got? November, December, January, February, March, and now April. So 6 months been sitting outside with 0 issues. Like I said, this project's been going on for a while. This particular project has been going on for at least 6 months of just testing. I'm testing it thoroughly before we put it on the mountain. I don't want any surprises, no issues, nothing like that. Down here you'll see you have my connector. This is where everything runs outside. It's just a simple clamp style connector that just grabs it and holds it there. Not a big deal. The reason I put it on the side, my last one I stuck it out of the bottom. I did it out of the bottom so I didn't have to worry about water getting in, because we weren't running a fan at first. Wasn't sure if we were going to need it. The more research I did on it, the more I was like, well, the fan was a good idea. So we put the fans on it. Now if water even was to get in the box, it's just going to run out of the bottom. You know, like I said, the whole bottom is vented. So I'm not worried about water getting into the box. Oh, here's another thing. So your wire coming in, fuse it. Now, I know someone's going to ask, what size wire did you use? Well, I used 10 gauge wire on my fan, on this, or not on my fan. I used 10 gauge wire coming from my charger into it. I used 8 gauge wire going to my battery, powering everything. This entire unit uses about, let's see, what was it? It's 1.8 watts in standby, and it's 32 watts when it's transmitting. So not a lot of power. I forget what that is in amps, but I don't even think it's a full amp. I think it's like half an amp. 12 volts at 32 watts, whatever that equals out to. That's the amount of amperage. Well under what this thing will ever need to do. It physically can't put out more. I'm only running a 50 watt or 100 watt panel. Both of those panels, I think one puts out like 4.8 volt or 4.8 amps. The other one puts out 5 amps. So well under that rating. And I believe I've got this as a 15 amp fuse. So everything is overdone, and the fuses are well under. I've got a 5 amp fuse going to my fan. I could probably, or no, that's not even, oh yeah, it is. So I have a 5 amp fuse going to my fan. I could probably switch that out for a 3 with no issues. This wire can take 5 amps, so it doesn't matter. Going to my shunt here is a 1 amp fuse. Going to the repeater is a 5 amp fuse, and then I have 2 of them that I'm not doing anything with. I'm not using it at all. So this is kind of how the box is set up. It's real simple. I've had a ton of people ask about this thing and how does it work and wanted more information on it. So guys, I know you're going to have questions if you have questions on it. I made a listing on my Amazon store. So this is all in my Amazon store. I forget what it's called, but my Amazon store is always the first link in the description. It doesn't cost you guys a thing. It helps us, you know, we get a little bit of commission off of it, and that money is used to make stuff like this, or to buy repeaters, or to put up different sites in my area. If you don't know, we started a little project, me and the local radio community. We've started putting up repeaters all over the county that I live in, so that we can have backup communications. We had a storm come through about 12 years ago, knocked out power for 14 days and knocked out communications for the cell phone company for about 8 days. That's a long time nowadays to go without communications. So this stuff, all being solar powered, is really nice because it would stay running. It's there. We've really gotten our G.M.R.S community up and running. We've got a lot of people that get on the repeaters and play with them quite often. I only have one repeater in the whole area that doesn't have a solar backup, and that's just because we haven't put it on there yet. So far, these little things have worked out great. This will be the third one I've built. So we have 2 of them that are up and running already, and this is the third one. Like I said, this one will be going up in my father-in-law's land, and I'm going to be taking you guys up there. Y'all are going to help me put it up. It's one of the higher mountains in the area. We're going to put it up at the top. It's just going to be on the tree. This is going to be a real simple setup, and it's going to give us communications when we're on the land. It's going to be backup communications if we ever needed it, and it's going to be a direct line from the house to another house about 12 miles away from it. So clear line of sight that'll work out really perfect. I wanted to show y'all this thing. I wanted to get this video done for you. Sorry guys it's taking so long, but if you got something out of the video, go ahead, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. And stay tuned guys, because we're going to be going outdoors. See y'all later.